You fucking bitch. Hey, I'm alive, but also kind of borderline dead. How am I feeling right now? What am I looking like? And how is this starting to affect my mindset and my hormones? Good morning, people, and welcome back to my channel. My name is AnnMarie Lawrence. I'm an IFBB Bikini Pro, and welcome to this Sunday vlog, this peak week number 3 vlog. I'm gonna show you guys the inside of what Sunday looks like for me. It's a rest and reset day. It's also depletion right now. This is our 6th depletion day after leaving Excalibur with the feedback to come in tighter and a little bit leaner. That is exactly what we set out to do. We had exactly 1 week in between Excalibur and Savannah Pro. So I took all last week and grinded fucking hard. 2-hour-a-day cardios, like the lowest amount of food that I've had in a very long time. And we managed to do exactly that. We managed to drop 2 pounds this week, and so now we are coasting into peak week, and we are able to carb up over the next couple days and just do a linear progression in carbs. I just finished my first hour of cardio. On Sundays, I normally like to sleep in. That's my jam, because on weekdays I wake up fairly early, around like 5:30, kind of depending on how I feel. But first hour done, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna do a full day of eating with you guys. But remember, I want to disclaim this. This is a depletion day. So this is the look inside of what a depletion day looks like for me. This is very low calories. This is not something that I suggest for anybody who is just living a general lifestyle, since I do promote a lot to my lifestyle clients. That is my jam. That's my go-to. I love my lifestyle clients, love my weight loss clients. This is not a everyday diet that I would suggest to people on a regular basis. This is just what I'm doing right now for this depletion, nor do I suggest that anybody does 2 hours of cardio a day ever, unless they are doing it for the specific reason of a sport or a competition or anything like that. But that's what this is. This is professional bodybuilding. This is a aggressive sport, and nor do I feel that this is healthy for anybody at all. And we'll dive into that too later, about how my hormones are right now, what my thoughts are, what my game plan is moving forward. But welcome to this peak week vlog. Welcome to this depletion vlog, this full day of eating, and this kind of rest, reset, and recovery day. So let's go frickin' eat, because your girl is starving. And like I said, it is getting pretty sad. So this is meal 1. We have 200 grams of low-fat cottage cheese, and then 25 grams of grapes, and that's literally it. That is meal 1. I think spaced out to where I'm eating like 7 to 8 meals a day. They are very small, but I am starving, like chronically starving all the time. So as long as I am kind of slightly satisfying myself every 2 hours, then I am good to go. But I just need to keep remembering in my head that hunger is a solid indication that I'm doing exactly what I need to do. And I pretty much know when I'm gonna drop weight, because I wake up starving and I go to bed starving. So that's kind of where we're at. So let's eat this meal, do a little bit of a Sunday reset. We'll talk about that. And then, like I said, at the end, we'll talk about my hormones, where I'm at, and what my game plan is moving forward. Because your girl is struggling, so yeah, let me eat this meal really quick. Just to kind of give you guys a quick look into how I set my week up for success, I like to plan what my cardio and my lift is gonna be for that day, any major appointments that I need to remember, but I also have all of this in my Google Calendar too, but I like to write it down, and then any main things that I'm doing for that specific day. And then in the morning, what I'll do every single morning is I will sit down and I will look at my Google Calendar and see what client calls and stuff like that that I have on my Google Calendar, and I will time block for the day, and I do that every single day. So I set my like initial structure and I write down what my big pillars are. Like, what are the big to-dos that I have to do this week, like this coming week? And then I will strategically say, okay, I'm gonna do this one thing on Monday. I'll do this one thing on Tuesday. And I will have one big focus for that specific day. That way I don't feel like, oh my God, I have all this stuff that I have to do. I have no time to do it. You really do actually have time to do it. You probably just aren't strategically planning it out, and you're getting overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that you have to do, instead of saying, I don't have to think about this project because I technically don't have to do it until Friday. So when you strategically map it out to where you just focus on one thing on Monday, you just focus on one big thing on Tuesday, and you're gonna be doing 100 million things regardless, but at least you have one big focus of a to-do or a pillar that's gonna push you forward in your progress in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and those are my big 3 pillars. And so how I map out my day and how I structure my day is literally I break my day into 3 days. Not on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, I'm a chill girly. I still do time block my day. I have today all time blocked out. 7 a.m., get my first hour of cardio, pose, and then I have church and my walk at 10, and then at 11, I'm gonna be getting my nails done. I'm gonna spend some time with my family, and then later on, once I get home, I'm gonna clean, organize, get ready for bed, whatever. So I time block still for my weekends too, so that I can, especially if I have cardio, so that I can get the things done I need to get done. But I will sit down every day and I will time block out based on what I need to get done. That way it has a starting point and an end point, because as human beings, we need a starting and we need an end. We can't just go, I'll get to it when I get to it, because then, bitch, you never motherfucking get to it. So I give myself these rules and this starting point and this end, and we'll talk about habits. I think it's super important for you guys to understand how to establish new patterns and habits, because that is literally what this is. It comes down to being intentional about creating this as a pattern and habit. And so I will time block and I will say, between this time and this time, non-negotiably, I'm doing this. Between this time and this time, non-negotiably, I'm doing this. And once the time starts, I start. And once the time ends, I end. Regardless of if I'm finished or not, I will end. And then if at the end of the day I have extra time, I'll go back to that project and I'll finish it, or I will time block the amount of time I think that I need for that project the next day. And so that way I have a start and an end. I don't feel like I am putzing or like procrastinating or sitting there scrolling on my phone, because I'm not giving myself an end time so I can do it whenever I get to it. You have to give yourself a start time or an end time, or you're never gonna fucking get to it. The next thing, when it comes to habits, something that's really beneficial, because bitch, do you think I wanna fucking do 2 hours of cardio a day? Motherfucking no. So what I do to create this habit and to make this undesirable thing seem more desirable is that you have to pair the undesirable habit, the thing that you really don't want to do, with something you enjoy. And so I set these rules for myself. When I do cardio, the only time I'm allowed to watch TikTok is when I'm doing cardio. The only time I'm allowed to watch this Netflix series that I'm watching, Bridgerton, by the way, if you're not fucking watching it, you're really missing out because it's so good, is when I'm doing cardio. So I'll set these rules for myself to where it's like, I'm pairing this really desirable thing that I really freaking like to do, that really is kind of a waste of time in reality, with something that I'm not a super fucking fan of, but I'm pairing these two things, which makes the undesirable thing a little bit more desirable, because now I'm excited to go watch this next episode of Bridgerton, but bitch, you can't fucking watch it unless you're doing cardio, so you better get up, you better go do your cardio and watch your Bridgerton, right? So when you pair an undesirable thing that you're trying to make a habit and pattern with something desirable, it makes it a little bit easier to actually do. So try that in your everyday life, whether it is waking up early, or here's one that I did with waking up early. I used to not be a super fan of waking up early. A lot of you guys know I was a bartender for a long time. And I'm talking fast so I can get this done with, because I have church that's about to start and literally 5 minutes. So trying to get this rolling. But I was not a wake up early girly. I was a sleep until noon, bartend until 5 a.m., sleep until noon, bartend until 5 a.m. girly. And so it took me a while to be a early girly. And now my body just is like, 6 a.m. you're up, even if you're trying to sleep in. It just is what it is. And I set my alarm. I wake up at 5 every single day, Monday through Friday. But something I paired with it was I created this cute little routine for myself where I wake up, I let the dogs out, I make my coffee, I sit on the front porch, I drink my warm cup of coffee, I sit down and have my me time, and I meditate and I breathe and I journal. And because I'm pairing this not super fun wake up early thing with something that makes me feel really good and is enjoyable, it was a lot easier, and I looked forward to doing that every single day. So no matter what that looks like for you, and I'd listen, I don't know if you can hear it in the background, I'm trying to keep it a little hush hush so I don't get copywritten for it, but I'll listen to my meditation station, or I'll listen to Christian music, which I'm listening to right now. And just like the nostalgia that brought me, was just like, I'm so excited to do that every morning. It makes me feel so good. Or like on my high carb days, I'll have these homemade blueberry scones, and I'm just like, I'm so excited to go to sleep so I can wake up and have a blueberry scone, you know? And it sounds crazy, but those are the things that you have to do, the standards you have to set, the rules you have to make in order to create these habits and patterns. Because when you first start doing this, it's not gonna be super fun. It's gonna be difficult to break your old shitty patterns and habits. But when you pair it with something fun that you like, it makes it a little bit more enjoyable. So try that as you try to adjust your patterns and habits in your life, and create positive patterns and habits. And yeah, that's what I got for you guys. So we are mapped out for next week. We are good to go. Everything is mapped out to a T. We're gonna watch church. Here's my dilemma. I was trying to decide if I'm going to cardio in church to kill two birds with one stone, or if we're gonna nostalgia the church like we do on Sundays. My favorite thing about Sunday is sitting on the couch and watching church with my dogs and drinking my coffee and taking notes and just like fully immersing in the church. So I think that's what we're gonna do. And then I might do my second hour of cardio outside with Leo to make it fun, because I'm just tired of looking at a treadmill. So I think that's what we're gonna do. And then we'll get our nails done later on, and then go to a family party for 2 hours just to show face and say, hey, I'm alive, but also kind of borderline dead. And then come home, put our laundry away, because we cleaned it, we folded it, but it is just sitting there folded, sitting there. So now we have to physically put it away. I'm gonna organize my life for tomorrow, and that's what we're gonna do. So let's watch church, people. And here's our church setup, getting things together. And here is our next little snacky poo. I decided we are gonna sit on the couch and do all the things. All right, so this is like the GOAT of protein bars. I feel like people don't talk about, but literally my favorite protein bar on this planet Earth. It is only 13 grams of protein. It is lower carb and higher fat. So if that is what aligns with your macros, then this is a good go-to. I love this one, and I also love the lemon meringue flavor. Literally amazing. I stick them in the freezer and it tastes like a cookie. It's so fucking good. My absolute favorite. So this is gonna be our little snacky snack that we have while we watch church, take notes, take our sups, and drink our coffee with our pups. Love, 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 love. And you little pretty girl, you got a pizza right there, huh? My husband's working right now. He'll normally watch church with me, but he's got a couple meetings. So now we watch church with the pups. right, here's our next meal before we get some cardio in. We have a large salad, tons of lettuce, like a whole entire container of lettuce, 5.5 ounces of shrimp, some tomatoes, and some onion in here. This is a huge, huge salad bowl because we need as much volume as we can. And then we are gonna do this Olive Garden light Italian dressing. It's only 30 calories per serving, which is freaking awesome for 2 tablespoons. So I'm gonna drizzle this on here, enjoy the salad, take Leo for a walk since we relaxed for church instead of multitasking and doing cardio, and finish out this last hour of cardio so that we can relax for the rest of the day. And we just finished our last bit of cardio. I did 25 minutes on the treadmill and 35 minutes outside walking my dog. Didn't want to be out there with him too long because it was pretty hot. And now we are eating this next meal, which is 180 grams of 0% Valle and half of a rice cake. So we only have 3 more meals left for the day. They are super, super small, but it is only 2 p.m. So we'll eat at 4, we'll eat at 6, we'll eat at 8, and then your girl will go to bed. All right, so we are heading to my aunt's house for a little pool party and get together. I'm gonna be bringing this protein bar that I'll be eating around 4. Like I said, I get one more little snack at 4 and then I'll eat my last meal at 6. I'm bringing 2 bottles of water, mostly for my husband because I'm gonna bring my gallon and my refillable bottle. I'm bringing 2 Gatorade Zeros. These are really cool because they are filled with electrolytes, but then also only have 10 calories in the entire bottle. And then I'm bringing 2 diet sodas. I don't like to do too much diet soda because I can overdo it and then it starts to mess with my stomach. So I'm going to bring this Dr. Pepper cream soda and also bring this diet root beer, and I'm gonna bring a little Yeti with ice in it to put my drinks in, and that is it. And I should be home around like 6:30 to eat my actual last meal of the day, take a shower, reset my life, sit down, watch a little bit of Netflix, and that is it. And that will pretty much wrap up the day. Okay, I got home from my family thing and I was starving. So just gonna give you a look of what I ate. I had 4 ounces of chicken already pre-cooked, and I had 100 grams of pre-cooked potatoes that I have in here that I cut to look like French fries to trick me, and some ketchup, and that's literally it. And then I'm about to have this last meal of the day and then go the fuck to sleep. So I have 200 grams of 0% Valle I'm gonna put in this bowl and half of a rice cake. And that will wrap it up. I'm gonna talk with you guys a little bit about hormones, where my headspace is, but first, let me eat this meal, let me take a shower, and like woo-saw, and then we'll dive into that. All right, people, good morning. It is the next day, as you could probably tell. In that last video, I was getting pretty frustrated, I was pretty overwhelmed, I was pretty dead and exhausted to the world. So your girl took a shower, I ate that last little meal, and I laid in bed and just like woo-sawed and honestly just like stared at the ceiling for a while, and then went to bed and drank my tea, drank my sleepy time tea. I mapped out my day for the next day, and I was like, whew, your girl just needs to mentally just get herself together, because I was starving, I was exhausted, and that's exactly what we're gonna talk about to wrap up this vid. How am I feeling right now? What am I looking like? And how is this starting to affect my mindset and my hormones? So let's talk about how I'm feeling. It has been 7 days of depletion. 7 days. 7 days of super, super, super low carb. I'm not gonna talk about my macros because you guys don't need to be doing this low macros and calories, but the lowest I've been in a very, 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 very long time, probably since I've competed ever in life, back to the days that I was so, so low and like literally killing myself. Very, very low calories, 2 hours of cardio a day, sometimes more, and I just feel like a zombie. It's hard to have brain function. It's hard to do everyday life things. I'm forgetting everything, and I am doing my best with what I can, but I'm consuming way too much caffeine, which I'll talk about that too. But I could take all the supplements in the world. It's just kind of at the point where your deficit is so low, you're just feeling, ugh. Not really pooping because I am not consuming enough food to poop. So I have been drinking smooth move tea every 3 days if I'm not using the bathroom, because it scares the shit out of me if I'm not using the bathroom. I don't like that at all. So if I don't go for one entire day, I'll give it another day and see where we're at. And if by the second day, the next day, if I haven't, then I will do smooth move tea for the past like 2 weeks, just because food's been so low. We've been hustling, and I feel like absolute shit. And every time I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, wow, you look like shit, but it's because I'm depleted, and it's normal for that to happen because we're pretty much pulling every single ounce of freaking water out of me. Not because we're not drinking water, because we're still drinking fucking almost 2 gallons a day, but because we're pulling, think about it, carbohydrate. That's what carbs are. They hydrate your muscle, and if you're pulling carbs, it's no longer gonna hydrate the muscle. So anyway, long story short, it's been a week of depletion. It's Monday, and we finally hit our lowest weight of this prep. I cannot tell you how good it feels to wake up and be at 125. I literally stepped off stage and Paul was like, we had to drop 2 pounds. And I was like, bitch, I got it. Don't fucking worry about it. I'll take care of it. I'll make it happen. And we did it. We're at 125. I just like fucking relief this morning stepping on the scale. And I just physically feel like shit, mentally feel like shit. But like, I am so happy that we dropped. So I'm in a better headspace because I talked to Paul this morning. He was like, okay, we're done. No more depletion. Let's cut cardio a little bit. By a little bit, it's now 1 hour instead of 2 hours. And let's slowly do a carb load. So thank you, Lord Jesus Christ. I'm feeling like just my mindset today is just so much better than it was yesterday, because I was just so freaking hungry and I was just so exhausted. I go to bed hungry, I wake up hungry. It's just like a constant state of hunger, and there's nothing I can do about it. How am I looking? Well, I'm gonna put a little photo, check-in photo from this morning. Weighed in at 125, technically 125.4. I'm feeling flat. I talked with Paul, which literally means there's no water in my muscles. They look stringy and sad, and I just look like a little skinny stick, which is super normal because that is kind of where we're at with this phase of prep. And we are gonna make some slight adjustments in posing because I'm like turning to the side a little bit too much. We're gonna turn just like a tiny little bit more to the front. That's gonna help that lower back look a little bit tighter. So we're playing around with some posing stuff. And then, yeah, that's where we're at as far as that goes. So we're gonna slowly progress with carbs here. Here's the issue I'm running into for the past 2 months. So August and now September, I have lost my cycle, which I'm not happy about. And this is the first time in a long time I've lost my cycle on a prep. And this is probably because I'm the leanest I have ever been in a prep ever, and the most aggressive we've ever gotten in a prep. And I frankly am not comfy and not okay with my hormones being out of whack. Now, I feel fine, like my hair is not falling out and nothing weird is happening with my skin. Like I look physically, my skin, my hair, my nails, everything is super healthy. So that makes me happy that nothing weird else is happening, but that doesn't mean it's not gonna happen, and I'm frankly not willing to risk that. So here's my game plan for everybody moving forward, because just to be like this, I'm trying to put this in a way to where it doesn't sound fucked up, but there's a lot of people who their entire existence is prep. And if that's the way they wanna live their life, cool, fucking awesome, that's great for them. But for me personally, my health is more important than competing. Period, end of fucking story. And if my hormones are starting to get compromised because of competing, frankly, I'm not fucking interested and I'm ready to reverse. So here's the plan. Here's what we're gonna do. My rule of thumb is 3 missed periods and I'm done. I'm done. I have to reverse. I have to work on getting my cycle back. I cannot have more than 3 missed periods. That's not okay with me. I have to reverse. So we're on 2 missed periods, and my next cycle doesn't happen till the end of September. And if I do not get my cycle back, we are reversing. We are fucking done until I get my cycle back, and then we can cut again if we make it to the Olympia. But here's the plan. We're gonna do Savannah Pro this weekend. That's an obvious. Then we definitely, for an absolute fact, are gonna be doing the 30th of September, which is the only drug-tested, all-natural IFBB show of the season. It's September 30th in Alexandria, Virginia. We are definitely 100% doing that show, and I think that's where we're gonna end the season, regardless of how I place. Unless there's a show literally the following weekend, and I feel, no, I have a wedding that weekend. I couldn't even do a show if I wanted to, so I think that'll wrap it up. I think the Alexandria show will wrap it up for the season if I get Olympia qualified. And the cool thing is that my last cycle, that 3rd cycle, will start that peak week of Alexandria, so I'll know if I miss a cycle or not, a menstrual cycle or not. But that will wrap up the season. If I don't make it to the Olympia, that will wrap up my pro season for 7 to 8 years, like I talked about before, if not forever. Marley! She's killing me today. I'm gonna lose my motherfucking mind. That'll wrap up my competitive career for either ever or for 7 to 8 years, depending on how I'm feeling as life goes on. And if we do make it to the Olympia, which hopefully we get a win in Alexandria, then we will reverse, come up with another game plan, do a couple warm-up shows before the Olympia in December. So that's my life, that's the plan. I just am not a super fan of my hormones being compromised. It freaks me out. And like I said in the beginning of this, just to clarify, everything you guys just saw, the little amount of food that I'm consuming, the intense, aggressive amount of cardio I'm doing, that is not healthy. That is not something I recommend to anybody, especially if you're a lifestyle client. The only time I would ever recommend you do anything that aggressive is if it is specifically for an extreme sport like this. And other than that, you should not be doing that. I'd highly recommend against it. Women should not be sub 10% body fat on a regular basis. We physically need fat on our bodies for our hormones, which is exactly why my hormones are out of fucking whack, is because I do not have enough freaking body fat on my body right now, and it's fucked up, and it's good for what I'm doing, but it's fucked up for the long run, and I highly, highly recommend against it. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So unless you're competing in an extreme sport, don't do what I'm doing at all. And if you choose to compete in an extreme sport like this, hire help, hire support, so you can make sure that you're doing it the right way. And that you are not fucking yourself up, because I did that in the beginning of my journey also. So anyway, that's my TED Talk for this YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, click on that little bell, because there is going to be a show day vlog for the Savannah Pro, and I'm also going to be doing some vlogs here and there throughout the next couple weeks. So yeah, I'll see you guys in Savannah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me on my journey, and bye. Catch you in the next one.